Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to lose weight easily without a diet and without the struggle? If so, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about healthy food and what that means in order to lose weight without a diet and without the struggle. For those of you that know me, I'm Leslie Urbis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer and the leader of the Facebook group, Digestion Codes with Wholeness Health. And today I'm here to educate on, what is healthy food? So here's the deal. You're going to Google healthy food and you're going to see things like don't eat seed oils, don't eat processed foods, don't eat things that aren't organic, depending on the person. Now, here's why I hate the word don't. And yes, I'm using hate there for a purpose, because the moment we tell someone don't, and they have been doing it, they go into a stress reaction, which increases our cortisol, increases our guilt and shame, and immediately puts us into a state of mind that causes harm. So whether you've eaten a plant or a seed oil in the past few days, or whether you have consumed a certain food that is deemed unhealthy, like processed food or something in the past few days, the moment someone says, these are all the terrible things that happen to your body when you consume these foods, you go, oh my gosh, I just ate them. Oh my gosh, I just had them. So just consuming this seed oil and just consuming this processed food a little while ago will immediately put you into fight, flight, freeze. It will cause your stress to increase and it will literally cause your body to decay. So when someone says, don't use this, I want you to hear in your body, this person is not supporting me. It's sort of like I saw the best reel the other day from a woman who educates parents. And she said, don't give the advice of stop yelling at your kids. It actually is not very good advice, because the thing is that it gives us immediate guilt and shame. And if we're harboring guilt and shame on the inside for raising our voice with our kids, we increase our stress. Increasing our stress decreases our mental function. It decreases the way we process things. So if I have a high mental stress load in my brain and my gut, which are attached, will automatically go into stress. I'll shut off the vagus nerve. I'll decrease my metabolism. I will decrease the way I digest. So eating healthy food should never be a don't. So if you're following anyone right now who's telling you don't eat processed foods, don't eat seed oils, don't do this, and giving you a list of to-dos, you're in a double negative, okay? So first tip here is that anybody that tells you don't, my encouragement is to run, because it could be a do for your body occasionally, but the moment you take it on and you're like, oh, I should not ever have a processed food, but then let's say in 2 months from now, you're in a bind and the only thing you can do is run to the grocery store and get something that's processed, you're going to feel terrible. Your mind is going to go, this is processed, you're horrible. This is processed, you're horrible. And you can gain weight just from that, okay? To back this up, there is a further research study done on rabbits that were provided poisonous food that can cause them to have high cholesterol levels and die of a heart attack instantly almost, okay? And in this research study, they found that the bunnies that were put in isolation and consumed the food immediately induced themselves into this and passed away, okay? The bunnies that were in like company that they liked took longer before the system failed. And the bunnies that were provided the food, that were being pet and loved and spoken to in kind words, survived. Why? Because we are the bunny, okay? We're our own coaxer. Oh, this food is so good for you. This food is so healthy for you. You're doing okay. Every little kid knows this, right? The calming touch of their mother. You are your own mother now, okay? So tip number 1 here for healthy food is to stop with the do's and the don'ts. It is not freeing. It is not helping you. In fact, it is increasing the stress and is decreasing the chances of you actually getting somewhere with your nutrition, okay? To be quite honest, a lot of people that live in the do's and the don'ts are not actually models sometimes of the health that we want to have. Now, sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, but it depends on you. If you're going against a belief system in your brain that tells you that processed food is okay or isn't okay, it will always give you more fight, flight, okay? So key number 2 is you need to do this instead, okay? So instead instead of seed oils, you should consume blank, blank, blank oil, okay? Let's say you go to the grocery store and you're like, okay, they said avocado oil or almond oil or olive oil. And you go to the grocery store and you notice that those oils are about 7 times more expensive than the other oil you were getting. Now you have to think, okay, is this going to rationalize in my bills? Is this going to work? But this is the thing I need for health, but this is this. Notice the stress. Notice how it's going up again. Notice the fear and worry because you're trying to follow the do list. Okay. So whenever someone provides to you a do and don't list, we've immediately activated stress. We've deactivated the vagus nerve. We've deactivated our own healthy, everything's good, complex in our body. And without calling it back, we continue down this cycle. This is why you can diet for years and still be struggling. You can follow plans. You can pick them up. You can see some results, but then they fall away because no one's ever sat down and said, hey, Melissa, let's talk about your body. Let's talk about what you need. Have you ever even been explained the basics of nutrition? Like what nutrition actually is, what a whole grain is, what to look for, the properties of that whole grain. That's empowering. So I teach things like what is a whole grain? What is a healthy protein? What is a healthy fat? And how do you define that for yourself? So you can then take from a gamut of things, okay, an array of things and choose what's right for you. And then fit into it. You know, I love chocolate, Leslie. Chocolate does something for me. And when I'm on my period, I love to eat chocolate and it makes me a much nicer person. Then do it. That chocolate is not causing harm in your body due to what you're telling your body about it. Now, if I choose to eat the chocolate with the negative feeling in my head of like, they told me not to eat processed food. This is so processed. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible for me. I know I shouldn't eat it, but it just makes me feel better. All of that confliction will stop you from losing weight. It will stop you from being healthy. It will stop you from having those things. So my encouragement to you here is to really go back and review your diet, okay? Do I have a do's and don'ts list? Is it even in alignment with me or does it stress me the F out? Because if it does, it's time to drop that and move into tip number 3, which is the mind method, which is what I teach in the digestion codes. The mind method is first the mindset. What rules do you have up here? Rules from your parents, the ancestry code. Rules from diet, your diet code. Rules from your body image, your body image code. Rules from teachers, from friends, from family, okay? What about the internal piece? What is your gut actually telling you? What does your gut actually need? To be honest, I've had gut issues before. I've had to do some serious work on them, and they are all directly linked to anxiety and stress in my life. It has nothing to do with what I'm eating, but we immediately go to must be gluten, must be this, gotta throw this out, food sensitivity, I've got all this stuff. Kick it to the curb. It actually has a lot of different reasons. And so the internal piece gets to, okay, what's the mindset like? What does our body actually need? And get into the third piece, N, for nutrition. Okay, so mindset, 1, I, internal, N, nutrition. The nutrition for you. What do you actually need? Sometimes it can be like clients of mine that need a little bit more iron, and so we can switch things there. Sometimes it can be clients that need a little bit more animal protein or a little bit more plant-based protein or a little bit more free time or a little bit more de-stressing or a combination of all of it. And then the last piece is it is exclusive to you. You don't go over to your girlfriend's house and put on someone else's underwear. You're not about to go over there and do it, right? Okay, you're not like, hey, can I try on your underwear today? Absolutely not. So why is it that we will pick up a diet that someone else says is successful for them when diets are internal? They affect us internally. We're readily available to let somebody else tell us what to put in our body without any knowledge of if it's good for us, but we're unwilling to try on our friends' underwear? Like, really think about it. We're constantly doing this. So the mind method really steps into you owning it and finding the sexiest underwear that you've ever wanted to put on because you feel great in your body. Now, to do that, my encouragement is so many different things. First of all, from this video alone, I just want you to go into your nutrition files and pull up all the do's and don'ts you were given, because I can guarantee you those do's and don'ts are causing you more stress than they're worth. The second thing I want you to do after looking at those is to really think, Could I value more from the mind method? Could I value more from knowing more? I have a ton of free resources, okay? Normally, I would love to invite you to our group program because it's rocking it and there's 7 to 10 people in there right now and everybody's getting amazing results. But what I'd really like for you to do, if you're still on the fence, grab more free resources, really learn, okay? But if you know that you're like, well, I have a ton of free things and I can Google a ton of things, but I'm overwhelmed, then potentially joining our group is exactly what you need to do, because the accountability, the friendships, the relationships, the being able to talk in that group every day through our own private channel is absolutely amazing and life-changing. So consider it, but go do those action steps. What are your do's and don'ts? Number 1. And then number 2, what could really benefit you today? More free resources or actually getting the accountability and the success that you've been looking for all of these years? Comment below. Tell me, how did your action steps go today? And note, I'm going live in this group for 30 days, as long as I don't forget a day, which I'm going to take out of my mind because my mind is it. Up until now, I have forgotten in the past. Not anymore. I'm going live every day, including the weekends, even if it means really early in the morning while I'm post-workout. I will be here. So stay tuned for a ton more information and actual tips that you can take right now to enact to use your own personal mind method. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.